That education doesn't mean squat right now. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square hole. The one who sees things differently, they're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things, they invent, they imagine, they heal, they explore, they create, they inspire, they push the human race forward. Maybe they have to be crazy. How else can you stare at an empty canvas and see a work of art? While we see some of them as crazy ones, we see genius because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. So let's think of how we can think differently. We need to be revolutionary. We need to be innovators, creating new things and powerful way to do things. Are we still doing things the old way? I mean, aren't we all doing entrepreneurship and tourism now? Haven't we all seen a picture of Kathy Oxford in a helicopter looking at an industrial park on her iPad while she's actually flying over it? Be creative. Give birth and expression to new and powerful ideas. In our jobs, we have to be creative. We can't do it cookie cutter in the same way all the time and in all communities being the same. Be a performer. Push boundaries. Don't be insincere. But sometimes in our jobs, we have to be on and we have to get people to move in different directions, and we do not have time to mess around. We'll miss a deal if we do. So let's be performers. Let's be seekers, gaining deeper and better understanding of the world. We know cave people. We know the NIMBYs. But every now and then there's someone who really might be against everything, but really most people need education. They need to understand what's going on in the larger world, and that's something that we need to do too. Let's be visionaries. This is kind of a continuation of the last thought. Don't get always bogged down in detail, but take a step back. Look at the big picture. That's how you can solve problems and think differently. And be independent. A lot of us work for some kind of governmental entity and we're tied to them financially and in other ways, but they need us to think independently and to think differently and to not always think about that money. Be wise. Ken Blanchard said, the biggest obstacle that stalls leaders' growth is the human ego. When leaders start to think they know it all, they stop growing. So growing for leaders is like oxygen to a deep sea diver. Without learning and growing, leaders die in terms of their effectiveness. Being a leader itself, Blanchard always said leaders are developing. As leaders are developing, they should gain knowledge, reach out to others, and open their worlds. So learn from others, but express yourself uniquely. Be a change agent. Lead people or groups through change. That is our job. We are to guide our communities, to give them ideas, possibilities, and help them to stretch and grow. We're to be committed. This one is a must. What we do takes years, and sometimes we will never see the fruit of what we're doing. But we've got to be committed, and we've got to start right now because it's not going to happen if we aren't the ones who start it. Let's be authentic. Discover who you are. Don't ever forget who you are. As we work for the good of the community, a lot of times we know we have to blend into the background, but don't let that take what makes you uniquely you away. You've always got to be you. So from that great philosopher, Dean Wormer, fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son. A lot of times we're just blundering around, going through life, and we've got to be small and scrappy, not fat, drunk, and stupid. And the other great philosophy movie, The Matrix, there is no spoon. A lot of times we say, oh, we're going to think outside the box, but the box doesn't even need to be there. We're the ones that create the box in the first place. So just like there is no spoon, sometimes there is no box. Consider these steps to help you with thinking differently. Don't always focus on the correct answer, but focus on the right answer. Not what people want to hear, but what you know is right. Sometimes we need to break the rules. Sometimes we cannot always be practical. And don't say that's not my job. Those who explore completely unrelated areas, sometimes they see things the best. So look at many areas, even if it's not your job. And don't say you're not creative, because if you keep saying that, you won't be creative. And don't say play is not work. Allowing your mind to play might be the most effective way to stimulate creative thinking. Work hard and play hard. To a creative person, both are fun. We love our jobs. Understand that it is also play too. Great philosopher, Logan Morrison, who said, "Don't just bend the rules, break them in half and beat them with both pieces." That is what we need to do, and I hope you'll take that away and you too will start thinking differently.